Oh no. This is in the way. Oh no. I just realized that. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that fixed it. Hello everyone. Good morning or good noon, depending on where you are. This is Amena Art. I'm Delphine and welcome to our live. It has been a while since we have done a live here on TikTok, but we've been getting a lot of requests and notifications to go live, so here we are. We're most likely going to be starting this up again, but welcome on back, and we're going over obviously some of our nice fine art prints today, and I got actually a little basket over here of them. We're going to be going over the 12 by 12s. So 12 by 12s are the squares, and we're just going to be discussing mainly like the actual pieces themselves and a little bit of like where I would put these in a home. But glad to see you all here. I hope you are all having an amazing, what day is it? Tuesday. I hope you're all having an amazing Tuesday, and we're going to jump right into it. But good morning. Let us see what we have first on the list here of friends. We have actually cascading flowers. I'm a little bit, but not too surprised that this is the first one we have today. So cascading flowers is this one. I have to look at it sometimes to figure out which way it's supposed to go. But it's a very simplistic piece actually. This is one of the fewest pieces by our artist Amena that is just flowers. She does a lot of animals and flowers, as you will actually see here. But this one is literally just flowers. This piece specifically was finished in 2024 of last year as of this live. And it was started probably around 2020, 2021, perhaps even later than that. We don't have an exact date on when it was started. This was one of her longest running paintings that took her. So it was multiple years off and on. It wasn't overall time, but that was for a few different reasons, which we'll go over here in just a moment. Cascading flowers, though, visually, it is a very simplistic piece with just some beautiful kind of like reddish, pinkish flowers and just these nice, gorgeous leaves of multiple colors and all that fun stuff and a nice bright blue background. But getting to kind of a little bit of the story here on why it took so long for this painting to actually be finished. Cascading flowers, it took multiple years, mainly because the artist Amena did not know what she wanted to kind of take this way. She didn't know what direction really she wanted to take it, which if you're an artist or you watch artists, you can find a lot of people do feel this way with their works. But this one specifically took her a long time because she didn't know what its purpose was. So you can see throughout the years actually, if you're actually looking at this piece up close, even on the fine art print, because there's a lot of detail, that it has a lot of different styles going on here. From the centers of the buds of the flowers are extremely detailed compared to kind of like the petals, and even the colors is a little bit more vibrant up here, which is a different decade because you see the outlines. Which I'll bring up closer for you guys so you can kind of see it a little bit better, even though we got a little bit of glare there. You can see that it's kind of got a different style, even though it's not drastic to it. It does have like different parts that is slightly different. We can see where she added on, obviously, something from each time period, basically. And this was not on purpose. This was just because she kept bringing it back out in different parts of her painting career where she had different styles. Like at one point she was doing more illustrations, which one of her paintings we might show today is one of those older pieces turned into a painting. They were double-sided. She did more colorful, like flowers, to what she does more now, which is more like wavy, magical. But it was officially finished of last year, so 2024, where she signed it very nicely here on the corner and is complete. But it took her a very long time, and the piece really means, at least to me, all paintings mean something different to everyone, which I'm curious, obviously, on what it would mean to you guys. But to me, it means that over time, over years, you as a person change. Even though it may not be like obvious, like all of a sudden, like what happened, um, uh, just changes over years. It's not obvious when you look at it from year to year, but once you go from like 1 year to 5 years, it might be a lot more like pronounced. But I really think this piece, at least to me, represents change in a person, because like her style, it changes so subtly that you might not notice it unless you're looking up close, but it does change from every year that she took it out and add on a little bit more to make the final piece. And it just blends nicely, kind of just as a painting. It doesn't really make like, oh, well, this one stands out or anything else. It looks like most of her paintings, but it really was a piece that took her multiple years and multiple times taking out and in of the studio. But that is what I believe it would actually mean. Of course, you guys are more than free to leave a comment on what you think Cascade Flowers would mean to you. But it's a very gorgeous piece, honestly, that did take her many years to finish. I believe it was probably about 4 or 5. It was finished obviously last year, and that's why we do have the fine art print now of released of it. But very gorgeous. If I had to say where I would put this piece, because I love to say this, the top 3 places I would put this collector piece in like a home is, honestly, I would put this in like an office. So I would put this in an office, like maybe like somewhere around the desk. Maybe if you have like your desk against the wall, and then you have it kind of like hanging somewhere around. You can even have it on a stand like what I have here now. I feel like it would fit there because in office, you're building, you're working towards new things, and this painting really represents change, even subtly, as you keep going and moving forward. So I feel like that would be a good place. For number 2, it could be like a living space, because people come in and out and stuff. That could also be like a foyer as well. In and out, guess it changes and stuff. A lot of changes, obviously. And the last place I would think I would put this in would be if you have a, what is it called? I know there's a actual name for this. You can leave it in the comments. But it's basically this open space that you have inside, and you have like garden area, like your potted plants. We call it a sunroom here in our house, but it is not called a sunroom, I know. Normally, I can't remember the word specifically, but it's where you have your flowers and your plants. It would look very nice in there because, once again, this is one of our more floral pieces, and I think it would just look decently nice if you have like a little sitting area in there, which usually when you have a floral room, a sunroom, whatever it's called, you do have a little seating area where you can relax and just be with the flowers and plants, which I think that would look very nice with this piece because it is honestly very gorgeous. But honestly, that is Cascade Flowers. This is the 12 by 12 fine art print. I believe this one specifically that I have on the stand with me today is signed by the artist Amena. So that is something very unique to this one because we only have a few of these, but you can find it obviously here on today's live, I would hope. If not, just comment and I will hopefully see it. But very gorgeous piece. If you guys have questions on it or anything, do let me know and I will answer it. I'll give you guys one more close-up for this one because it is one of those pieces where If you see it a little bit more up close, you can kind of see a little bit more of the details. Probably not too good with the glare of the windows over there, but it is a very pretty piece, honestly. All right, let me move it back a little bit more. So cascade flowers, you're getting all the lights and things in it. Oh, we're actually moving to a newer piece next. So we got the next one here, pulling out. So we're going to say goodbye to cascade flowers. We're going to say hello. I don't know where I'm going to put you for now. I guess you're going to go over here very nicely. We're going to say hello to Peaceful Jungle. I find these are the funnest ones to put back to back. Cascade Jungle and Cascade Flowers and Peaceful Jungle, because they are drastically different but also kind of similar. Cascade Flowers took a few years to finish, off and on, probably about 4 or 5, honestly. You'd have to ask the artist herself, which we have not. I don't even think she knows specifically when she started that piece. Whilst Peaceful Jungle only took 1 day. It took a single day, which is a high contrast considering Cascade Flowers took multiple years. Peaceful Jungle was done in 2024, I believe, sometime around August. I believe it was August. It was the first ever painting painted in the Amena Art Gallery and Shop, which is now closed, sadly, but it was the first ever painting done there by the actual artist. It was done in the shop, in the actual shop window. So if you did come down to Fredericksburg, Virginia, in the historic downtown area, we did have a shop for a year in that area in 2024. She did paint this, and it was the first ever painting. It was also the first ever painting, I believe, that took her only 1 day to do, from start to finish. So this one is called Peaceful Jungle. It is actually a tiger, and it's just a kind of relaxing and honestly in just this jungle setting. Very gorgeous piece with a lot of greens, a little bit of purples, and like an orangish green. I'll let you guys see up close here in just a moment, but it's very beautiful, and it's honestly a very beautiful and interesting piece that she managed to finish it so quickly, since it was only a day. But let me show you guys up close. We'll get into a little bit of the story here in just a moment, but I really love admiring some of the details that you guys can see, with the lights obviously glaring for the other side. We gotta put up the curtains over here, but I really love the details and flowers and animals. She does really well in both her colors and also her details in animals. She really specializes in animals and flowers. So if you're looking for color, animal, and flowers, this is obviously the artist to follow after. But this one specifically, Peaceful Jungle, it is really less of a story behind this one. When we interviewed the artist, Mia Kay, she spoke about this piece less of there was a story behind it, and more of there was a feeling, which she does that a lot with her pieces. So we have interviewed her multiple times on our YT channel, and this one was one of the first pieces I believe we interviewed her on. And she spoke of it more as a feeling of calmness. So that was really the feeling that she was going for this piece, which I think it really stood out and fit for it. So it's just really relaxing. She really wanted it to be calm. She really wanted it to kind of be like springy, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, which she did very good on that. Now, me personally, I've kind of added my own little bit of feeling and emotion onto this piece. And I'm pretty sure everyone does eventually when they see an art piece. And I would love to hear what you guys think of it. But for myself personally, I see this piece as a painting that represents patience. So it really represents patience, like in the headstrong way, where as spring's kind of coming and it's opening up, or fall as it is coming to now, and things and seasons are changing. You're not running head first into the holidays. You're not running head first into getting things all done. But instead, you're admiring it and you're really processing it, and you're just continuing forward on a nice, like, leisurely pace. Because I feel like a lot of us sometimes feel like, at least us Americans, we feel like we have to rush things because that is kind of like our culture, to rush the deadlines, to get things done faster and faster. This is more of a feeling I feel from here that's more of the European feeling, which is you take it at a nice pace that just continues steadily uphill. Instead of spiking and dropping, it just steadily goes up without it having to sprint when it sees something changing or worrying or about anything. It's just a nice leisurely pace, which that's how I personally take it. Of course, I would love to know what you all think of it, so feel free to leave a comment on that. But it's a very gorgeous piece, and I love to mention, of course, whenever I bring these out, where I would personally put the print in a home. So this one specifically, of course, you guys can comment with me where you would put it. I would say, to start off with number 1, I would put in a gym. I say this every time I bring out this piece. I mean, every time. If you've ever been on one of the live streams, you guys know I would say gym. Gym, I would say, is because if you're going at a leisurely pace, if you're trying to stay on pace, this is really the type of piece that represents that, at least for me. It represents stay on pace without worrying and rushing forward and then wearing yourself out. So a gym would really fit this painting, at least to my own interpretation of it. For number 2, I would put this in a kitchen, actually. So this is probably a newer one I haven't mentioned on past lives, but I would put it on a kitchen, like, counter. Probably not next to a stovetop for obvious reasons. I wouldn't want to ruin it. But I would put it on a nice countertop, maybe on, like, one of the walls, because it's obviously more green, it's calm, it's kind of like nourishing and refreshing to me, which I feel like it would fit a kitchen very nicely with the greenery. I could see it being in there and I can look at it. It has that calm feeling that she was trying to do with this piece, where it's like you're just cooking and you're not rushing to get things done. You're just there in the moment, making your food or eating your food if you eat in the kitchen. But that's where I would put it for the second place. And for the last place, of course, I don't see anyone saying anything at the moment on where they would put it, but the last place I would put this would be a greenhouse. So I would put this in a greenhouse, honestly. I would put a lot of her paintings, honestly, in a greenhouse. And that's not as an insult. That is actually as a high compliment, because then it's being put amongst the flowers, which the flowers need to be very organized and pretty and floral. But I would put amongst the greenhouse, maybe even a tea room if you have a tea room. But most people would have their tea rooms in their greenhouses because it has more florals. It has that kind of area that you really love. And of course, most people probably just have a garden. But I would put in a greenhouse area because it would really fit nicely. It's that relaxing. It's kind of like a regal, relaxing piece where you can look at, you can have your tea, you can just relax with your flowers, your roses, your orchids, your foliage, of course. And I feel like it would look very nice in that. So top 3 places, once again, to go back over, would be a gym, a kitchen, and a greenhouse / green room. So that's the top 3 places I would put. Of course, you guys are more than welcome to let me know what you guys would put, because I'm sure there's some people would love some recommendations. But Peaceful Jungle really is a beautiful piece, and I too honestly love it a lot. I'll give you guys one last look up close before, of course, we move up to the next piece on the list. So here's it a little bit closer again. Sorry about the glare. We've really got to put in the curtains on the other side. But once again, Peaceful Jungle was done by the artist Amena K. So she's the artist here at Amena Art, which is an amazing thing. And honestly, this was finished and started in 2024, around August, I believe. This was done in Fredericksburg, Virginia, the historic district, back when we had Amena Art Gallery and Shop there, located there. Currently, it is no longer there. We have now moved out to here, a private location we have in Stafford. But this is a nice piece that honestly I love showing after showing Cascading Flowers, which was the print that we went over right before we went to this one, because it really, the time periods between those two is quite amusing to me. But this is the, I believe this is the 12 by 12 or 13 by 13. You'd have to check the listing that I listed for you guys. It's one of the other, but it's a square print here for square painting. And this one particularly I have with me today is one of the signed ones, actually by the artist, which we have a few, like very few of those currently, which we're actually moving those out of stock. So if you want to get one of those, they're literally one of a kind. There's none other that we have signed. But this one particularly is, I believe, the 13 by 13 signed art, 1 of 1. So that is what we got here today. And honestly, its painting name is, once again, Peaceful Jungle, if you're trying to find it. But I do enjoy this piece, and it is very peaceful, as its name implies. Let us see what painting we have next. Oh, we're going back to flowers, it seems. Seems like we're moving back. So we're going to say goodbye to Peaceful Jungle. With Cascading Flowers. Say hello to Rose with Peacock Feathers. So Rose with Peacock Feathers is actually one that we're discontinuing here soon. And this was a part of a collection of 4 paintings. Currently we only have 2 of the paintings that is available for prints, which we are discontinuing the prints for this collection since it is an older collection. So if you want this, it is being discontinued, just so you know. But it was a collection of 4. This was probably painted around 2023, this collection. And this collection was mainly just floral based. This was all floral based collection, just squared floral based flowers and foliage. This one specifically was Rose with Peacock Feathers, where it has rose on the side and then some peacock feathers on this side, which is a very nice contrast that makes the rose honestly stand out a lot. But it's a very beautiful one. Sadly, we are discontinuing this specific design, at least for a very long time, I think. I'm not sure when we'll bring it back, if we ever do, but it's a very gorgeous one. I will let you see it up close in just a moment here, but this style is her, I believe, 2023 style or 2022 style, where she doesn't really have an outline to it. She stopped doing outlines around this time, I believe. And this is more of where she was doing highly colored, where you can really see like how bright it is on the sides. So she's got some like very high contrast here with the lighting. So it's got a lot of light going on. That was her style basically in that area, 2022, 2023, I believe. But it's very gorgeous, and I'll let you see it up close for just a minute here. Sorry about the glare. We gotta really get that fixed, but for now, I'll put that bottom on. I kept taking the cup thing for it. But it's very gorgeous, honestly. And the actual signature, I don't think you can see it here, but it's right here by the actual rose stem. The peacock feathers are very gorgeous though on this. And I think she's only done one peacock ever since this. So she's only got, actually I think there might be two, possibly. So we got this one, which is rose with peacock feathers. And I believe we might have another one that's called rose with peacock feathers or something similar like that. And that one's actually a longer painting, I believe. And it might have like something else. I believe it has like some other flowers or something. I don't know at the moment. I can't remember. And then we have one other one, which is called, I believe it's called, let me see. It's either, I think it's an A it starts with. I can't remember the name. It's one of her very newer pieces. She finished this, I believe, she finished the one that I'm thinking of in about this year. I believe she finished in 2025. And it's a gorgeous peacock piece. I can't remember the name for the life of me at the moment. I'll probably remember after the live. But this one specifically does not have a peacock in it, but it's feathers, which is very beautiful still. It was finished, I believe, in 2023. It does have a collection. So this one is with 4 others. They do not have all their prints. Only this one and one other one, I think right after this print, does actually have prints. But rose with peacock feathers, I believe it's like lily pads and rose with peacock feathers, stained glass flower or something like that, and palm leaves. So palm leaves is the one I believe we'll be looking over next. But this one's very gorgeous, honestly. It doesn't really have much meaning, but it does give a very elegant feeling. So it's roses and it's peacock feathers. Very elegant things, honestly. But where I would put this is I would put this in probably an office. I would put this in an office. A very nice office would be like gorgeous. Because obviously very elegant. I would put this in a lounge room as well. Like, I wouldn't say a living room. I would say like a lounge room, as in like it's just one of those, like, what would it be? It's one of those smaller areas where it maybe has a window or such. It's not like the public living room where everyone could go and gather, like nowadays where you have the huge living room with the TV and stuff. It's more of like it has its couches that are across from each other. It has a nice coffee table in the center. I would consider that a lounge room. It's mostly where it's kind of the more homey or more home styled presentation room, basically. That's what a lounge room is to me. So I would put this in a lounge room as well because it gives that very elegant feeling, but also like a more elegant home feeling. It's got the flower as well. And I would put this in, what was it? It was lounge room. I would put this in an office. Oh, and I would put this in a bedroom. I would put this in a bedroom as well, because honestly, even though it's very like luxurious and beautiful because of the rose and the peacocks, and honestly the colors is also a very beautiful contrast, I would put this in a bedroom because it does give peaceful, for me at least, because it is literally just a rose, some peacock feathers. I can see this in like a vase, honestly. Like if this was an actual like bouquet, I could see this in a vase with some rose and peacock feathers. I would see this though in a bedroom, maybe on, I don't think on nightstand, but like somewhere on like a wall or something. Maybe on like what are they called? They're not bookshelves. They're the, I can't remember. Oh, dresser. On the dresser. It could probably go on the dresser, honestly. It could probably also go on a bookshelf, but I feel like it would go very nice in a very luxurious bedroom. So, office, lounge room, and a very nice bedroom. So I feel like those are the top 3 places I would put this painting. Of course, if you guys would love to say where you guys would put it, leave a comment. But very beautiful. This one that I have with me today is the fine art print. This is the, I believe, 12 by 12 or 13 by 13. And it is actually signed by the artist. This is the only one that is signed by the artist herself, Amena K. So it is one of one. Soon enough, though, we will be discontinuing, I believe, this design, or at least this series. So if you want this one, I do recommend you get it very soon, because we are working on that as we speak. But let us look at the next one after. Right, I forgot almost to give you guys it up close again. Give you guys it up close real quick as I pull out what we're looking at next. Yep, as I guessed, that's the next one. It's very gorgeous, honestly. And it said that we got some glare going on with the phone over here. But let me show you guys the next one we're going over. So this is the next one. We're going over our square prints today. And it is what I said earlier, if you weren't here. This is palm leaves. This one's actually a part of the same collection as Rose with Peacock Feathers. So they were painted about the same time, 2023, I believe. And this one is literally just palm leaves. There's no roses to it. There's no animals to it. It's just palm leaves, which is very, very, and I cannot stress this enough, is very unique for the artist Amena K, since she doesn't usually do just foliage. Most of the time she does foliage with flowers or foliage with animals. As you can kind of see a little bit behind me here with the unicorn Anastasia. But this one is her only, I believe, one that is just foliage. Now this, of course, doesn't have much meaning to it, since it's obviously just palm leaves. But palm leaves are a very common plant, actually, to have in houses, since they are relatively, I believe, easy to take care of, and they do a nice like greenery to a house. But it's very simplistic. Even though it's simplistic, she did do beautifully on the colors here. It is a large variety of greens, but also a little bit of tints of purples and oranges, I believe, in here, which I'll give you guys a good look up close here soon on this one. But this was painted alongside, obviously, Rose with Peacock Feathers and its collection of 4, and soon will be possibly discontinued in this format and will be re-released in a different one. So if you want this one specifically, make sure you get soon. But I'll give you guys a good look up close for this one. We got some different colors kind of going on there with some of the purples and obviously the greens and blues, I believe. But she does very gorgeous work with her colors. That is something that the artist, Amena K, art artist here at Amena Art, really is amazing at working with her colors. But there's not much to obviously see here. It's just foliage basically of palm leaves, but still very gorgeous up close. Now, of course, like I said, this one doesn't really have much meaning to it. It's just a very simplistic house piece. It's honestly perfect if you don't know exactly what your house is going to look like or if any of these pieces will fit. This one's one of those overall paintings that, or prints that would honestly go anywhere in a house. But I believe the top 3 places I would put this in, of course, leave below where you would, but my top 3 places to put this in would be a living room, a kitchen, and possibly, let's say, living room, kitchen, and like a foyer. So a foyer slash hallway, so entryway basically. I feel like it would look very nice in a foyer because it would go very beautifully on like one of those tables, and then you just put it on top and you'd be like, there you go, very simplistic, just a simplistic like added. It's just one of those pieces that you could just add to. It'll just give that a little bit of greenery that just really makes it all come together very nicely, beautifully, and calmly. So that is what I would put. Of course, leave below where you would put, so other people have ideas on where they would possibly stylize their home. But this piece specifically, very simplistic. There's not much you would have to really explain about it. It's not really one of the centerpieces, but more of a it's more of a supporting piece to any place or anything. And I love its simplicity because you don't need something that's really bold or stands out sometimes. Sometimes you just need something that brings everything together. But this is palm leaves, and it is the 13 by 13 or 12 by 12 with me today. And this one specifically is actually her signed print version. So this was one of a kind. It's the only one that she has ever signed in this size. So if you want this one specifically, is one of one, and you best get it soon because I believe we are discontinuing this one specifically of this series. But very gorgeous piece, honestly. I don't think I need to give it another up close since it's a very simplistic one other than the colors, which you can pretty much see the colors from here. So since we're probably about midway to over with our live stream, I'm not exactly sure when I started this, which I probably should have been watching. I will reintroduce myself and then we'll go on to probably the last one actually, since we're almost 5 in, which I think 5 is usually how many we do. It's been a very long time. But I am Delphine. This is Amena Art. We are a luxury artist company, so we kind of do art here. Our artist is Amena K. She does all this luxury art, and we have a lot of fun talking with you guys about what we have, where we would place them. We talk about art investments and all that fun stuff. So feel free to join in, ask questions on our page or anything else. But let us go into the last one for this live stream, which is a much newer one, actually. So we got a much newer one here for the last one. So I'm going to say goodbye to palm leaves. we're going to say hello to temptation. So, temptation. Temptation here is actually a painting that was finished this year. This was a 2025 painting as of this live stream, and it is one of the more interesting ones. So this one's our second tiger painting ever done by Amena. The first one obviously being Peaceful Jungle. And this one is spring based once again, but this is a little bit different theme as the name kind of implies. This is supposedly seried after more of the safari, and in the spring safari, when you watch most of those Natural Geographic or any of those series where they show you the safari in like springtime, it's mostly about how they all come together at like these water pits, come and mingle and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. And this one is a tiger licking the water from this river and stuff in safari. And it's kind of looked up, it sees you, it's made eye contact on where it's going to be going next. But it's got these beautiful flowers actually here. I cannot remember specifically which flowers these are. If you know, because you've watched the video, or you just know because you've seen it, the actual painting, and you know, make sure that you comment so we obviously know for next time. But they are a springtime flower that represents obviously more of that spring theme that she was going for this piece. Very gorgeous though, and I'll bring it up close to you all here. And it's this gorgeous yellow, oranges tiger. Fun fact about this one is that it actually is blue underneath. So when she was originally painting this painting, she painted blue first. The reason behind this is because she had to get those stripes just perfect. So she painted it as blue, and then she went back over it with this orange, which made this very gorgeous painting, honestly. But it's very beautiful, and it is one of the newer pieces here at Amena Art. Now, if I had to say, there's 3 places to put this piece, because we do this every time. Of course, comment below where you would. The first place I would put this would be a bedroom, for obvious reasons, I would hope. Its name is literally called Temptation. It should be obvious to most of us why that is. I would put this in a bedroom. I don't think I need to explain it. For number 2, I would put this actually in a dining room. It would be a very, very good talking point, like a very, very gorgeous talking point for a dining room. It would be a centerpiece of a dining room, since it is very nice of a painting, but also as a print, it could go onto one of the side tables. It will stand out. It will give it a burst of color, honestly. And the last place I would put this would probably be, where would be the last place in home I would put this? Let's see. I'd probably put this near a sauna. So if you have an at-home sauna, which some of you probably do, this could also count as a bathroom, since some saunas are connected to bathrooms. I would put near a sauna, and I feel like it would fit. So it has kind of that water theme over here, and the safari is usually pretty hot. I feel like it would be nice to have. It gives that nice, luxurious, but also kind of like, what's the feeling? Kind of, I don't know, I've lost the word already. I was going to give a feeling, but I can't find the word for the feeling. Maybe you guys can. But it gives a very nice feeling for that type of room and environment that I think a sauna would fit nicely. One of the very few I'd put near a sauna. I wouldn't recommend in a sauna because it might ruin the print, but near a sauna. And that's the top 3 places I would put. So we would go bedroom, dining room, sauna. So that's the top 3 places I would put this in a home. Of course, let me know where you would put it, because of course we are always curious on knowing everyone else's ideas on interior design, especially for the prints and stuff, because there's always somebody out there that's looking for a piece where they would want to put it. But Peaceful Jungle, no, not Peaceful Jungle. This one's not Peaceful Jungle. This one's Temptation. Temptation, very gorgeous. I do enjoy this one a lot. It was finished in 2025 by obviously the luxury artist Amena. And the one that I have with me today is the fine art collector's print that's actually signed by her on the back. This one is the 12 by 12 or 13 by 13. You'd have to look up the link, which we have it here. And honestly, very gorgeous. I do adore this one a lot, and it's beautifully perfect. I'll give you guys a very good close-up look on this, as you guys can ask any questions about it or anything else that you see that we have linked today. And yeah. Alright. So, for anyone that's just joined in or obviously heard, we're going to wrap up the live now and end it out. But thank you for joining us, of course. If you just joined in, we do have the links, obviously. Click to see them all. We will be back either tonight or tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we will be back very soon for another live. So do make sure to follow so you do get that notification. But I am Delphine. This is Amena Art. We are very happy that you have joined us today. And honestly, we will be happy if you come back again soon. And that was all. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys very soon. Goodbye.